Alright, so I heard
Yeah.
the scream and it's time to make a move.
It is. You guys do hear like a small little like from the lower decks.
I'm going to Gilly.
All right, and you go to Gilly, and Poopy is nice and asleep, still just snoozing away. And Gilly is just kind of sitting on her bed, and you
It
know
was
she has
creepy.
she has a small little candle like next to her little bedstand area, and she's just kind of like doodling with like a piece of charcoal and such. And she looks up at the door and she goes, "Hi."
Uh, did she not hear the scream?
No, you didn't ask either.
Did you just
I
walk
just
into her room?
okay. That's what I'm gonna ask. Like, because I'm sorry, just the hi threw me off so hard. Um, uh, are you okay?
Yeah. I'm just drawing as she like hides it under her blankets at this point in the other pillow. Did you need
Scandalous.
something?
Um, I sorry. I thought I heard a child screaming. Um,
Wow.
Where's
I'm gonna be
Haribo?
right outside your room. Just what?
Where's Haribo? We tend to have the same scream. We practiced one night.
Oh.
That, that's adorable. But also, you don't have to hide your drawings from me. You're fine. Anyways, I'm
Ziminar.
gonna be right outside your door in case
Ziminar, was
you're
that you
not even
screaming?
here.
I'm literally
Oh,
right
I
I'm not
was
here.
even
just
here.
I
Was
was
that you
drawing a
screaming?
portrait of what I saw in the corner at least. Are you
What'd you
sure you
see?
want to see?
What? Yes, I want to see.
And as she
And
pulls
is
it
it
out,
still in here?
no, it's not anymore. There's light in the room now. It was just when it was dark and just my candle. I think it was the shadows. And you notice this just like weird, lanky, kind of like crooked backed monster, except it's like really fat on the bottom. So he's kind of egg shaped almost, but it has like really long appendages and very like almost like a marionette, like just all kinds of broken and every way possible. And she's just like sitting there like as happy as could be, drawing her creepy little drawings as just chilling with Poopy.
Did you say you saw this?
Yeah, it was in the corner, back there by the desk.
Ziminar, go check that.
Looks over there.
Can walk on in
Yeah,
and do any
aren't
an
you the one that's got more
investigation.
physical?
What?
I'm gonna use Arcana. I'm gonna see
Okay.
if that I can feel magic on it.
Okay.
Cause I don't know, I have more in Arcana anyways.
Okay. So with the
Uh,
17, you go around, you don't really sense any magic in the room. Like, just none at all, really. There's nothing about it that's magical. But then, as if you want to do an investigation check, you could as well.
all right.
Ooh, and as an
Oh shit.
investigation, you are looking at the desk like really intently in the chair, and you're kind of looking at seeing if any of it would logically make sense to create that like shadow on the wall. But then you realize that the candle was not that bright in her room, as when you opened the door, like that gave more light from the moonlight almost than anything really that candle was doing. And you know in your head that something was most certainly in here, but whether you want to disclose that to Gilly is up to you.
Oh, I'm about to make a very bad mistake. That's at a game, now in game. Gilly,
Yeah.
I want you to go with Miles and go find Haribo.
Okay. And as she gets up, like Poopy finally like wakes up for like a hot second as she like steps down onto the boards and it kind of creaks. And she just steps over him and she's like, okay, where's he at? And as she walks out of the room, Miles, are you actually standing there?
Yeah. Of course.
Miles?
Yes. Hello.
Okay. So as she walks over by you, she goes, we're supposed to go find Haribo.
Yes, let's go.
Sorry, by the way. I didn't know that you were actually there.
Yeah, it was. I walked over and everything.
Okay.
I thought
Wait.
you were running down to where the scream actually was.
No, I asked if you were the one screaming. Alright, Gilly,
Duh.
let's go look.
Okay. Is Ziminiar not coming?
I don't know what Ziminiar is doing. I'm not in charge of him.
Okay.
You're
Where's
damn
Winslow?
right.
Where's Winslow at?
He's probably in his room. Should we get him? Let's go get him.
Okay.
Which room was
Yeah.
his? Do you even remember? I certainly
You
don't.
guys were all in this back quarters area.
I remember that was where we were supposed to be.
And then I believe Winslow did end up taking bedroom 6 up here.
Ah, okay. Do we know that? I don't think I actually cared where
No.
anyone.
I don't think
went.
Winslow ever set down his things really anywhere. So,
Alright,
You
well,
can kinda-
we'll start with these, and then once we fail to find Winslow in these rooms, we'll go back and look in these rooms.
at this point, she's like watching you like waddle around.
Waddle?
Almost. Like just
I'm
kind of
not-
like pace.
I'm not
Where you
Winslow.
like evil? Like I don't know why. I either assume you're just like pitter pattering in like a monk's like really cult floor black robe, or you're just full blown like Sims 4 like vampire walking like everywhere.
I can't
I
picture
don't
the
know
Sims
why,
4
but
vampire
that's
walking.
what I assume Miles does when he walks. He just vampire walks, like the little like limp wrist and just like fully going full throttle.
Yeah.
I meant to tell you about the egg. One, like, that's just what I assume for whatever reason in my like little role-playing
Interesting.
head. That's like, I'm sure that's not what Miles does, but I like to believe sometimes he just like plays vampire in his church.
That sounds believable, honestly. But upon failing to find Winslow in any of these rooms, Sally's still here, right? So we can ask Sally where.
You mean Gretchen?
Is this Gretchen? I thought this was Sally Two
That's-
Shores.
No, Sally Two Shores went to her room.
Oh,
This is Gretchen.
All right, Gretchen, have you seen a dwarf around? think
I
there was
believe
only
he
one.
was in my sitting chambers before I came up here to read a book.
Which chambers?
The lower deck, where I was trying on and fitting gowns all day. You saw me there with my
I went
husband,
to
Hansel.
my room. I think you're thinking of the rest of the group that went downstairs.
I wouldn't know. I don't
Oy.
pay attention.
I can tell. Thank you.
You're
And
welcome.
with that, I go downstairs.
Gilly's just kind of like looking back at Ziminiar and she goes, okay. Do. And then she walks on down and she's just kind of following you, Miles, idly.
So we'll look for Winslow down here. Gilly, stay with me, please.
Oh, these are their sleeping quarters, though.
Oh,
Why would Winslow
they're
be in
there?
there?
Well, I thought that she said Winslow was. I didn't know where she
She
said
was
Winslow
in their
was.
lounging quarters, and I know I saw her changing and trying on dresses all down here.
She also said that she doesn't pay attention, so her information is probably inaccurate anyway.
Well, he's not here, it looks like.
That does seem to be the case, which just further corroborates what I said.
Mm-hmm.
Well, forget this. Where is the scream coming from? Do you know?
It was lower deck, Miles, when you heard it. It was even
I'm not
like,
asking you, I'm asking Gilly.
oh, what scream?
Ugh.
I didn't hear anything in my room. I was pretty focused on my drawing. I'm sorry.
Alright, well, that's fine. I guess we'll just check around, make sure everything's fine,
Okay.
and then we can go back to our rooms.
Okay. And as you guys are checking and just kind of looking around in these rooms, Ziminiar, what are you doing?
I am taking out my dagger,
Yeah.
and I am going to take the point of it to the desk and scrape it really hard. Because Ziminiar is afraid that a mimic is on board right now.
Oh,
Okay. So you go and scrape the desk, and as you realize as it stays a normal desk, you're like, the first thought that comes to your mind now is, oh no, I vandalized this desk. As you have vandalized the desk.
is that something Ziminar would care about?
Well, seeing it as Gilly's
It's
room.
not, it is and it isn't, but it's because it's Billy he cares.
Well, it's only Gilly's room for, like, the duration of the trip.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a long time.
I'm going to then test something that I maybe shouldn't test, but I'm going to close the door and rely on my dark vision to see if anything comes out.
Alright, well, we'll leave you to that, and you and Poopy can work on that for a little bit. And coming back to Miles
Right, so
with Gilly.
I'm sure we've finished searching this floor. Are there people, the rest of the crew, they're in their cabins?
Yeah, there's people in these cabins, and they're just asleep
Right.
at the time.
I just wanted to knock on some doors, just if I could get anyone's attention, see if anyone heard
Yeah.
a scream.
Yeah, so you can definitely go ahead and knock on someone's door if you'd like.
Yeah, let's go with these. Because if we heard it from the main deck, surely they've heard it from the lower deck.
Alright, so you go to this one here, and you see the man that was standing with Sally, two shores, and he hears it and he goes, "Hello," as he's like rubbing his eyes and, squeak, 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 squeak. May I help you?
Yes, we heard well, some of us heard a screaming coming from this part of the deck, and we were trying to see if maybe you heard anything.
No, I'm sorry. I'm a heavy sleeper once I have my chamomile tea.
All right, then, never mind. We'll just ask around.
Okay, as he closes his door.
On to the next one.
Alrighty. And you open this one, and you see there's two people in here, and they're just kind of like halfway getting dressed, and she answers the door and she goes, "Hello?"
Hello, I heard a screaming coming from the lower decks, and I was wondering if any of you have heard anything. Since we were on the main decks and you're closer to the source.
Uh-huh. No, we were sleeping.
Just nobody's heard it. Everyone's sleeping.
Yeah, we all try to hit the hay early. I especially get up early in the morning.
Well, certainly all sailors don't sleep at the same time, right? Some people have to be up when others are sleeping so that the ship doesn't capsize, right?
Well, normally the captain would be watching, or sometimes Wilbert and Sarah tend to be up on that upper deck as well.
Alright, I'll go check with them. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And as they go back to bed and you hear the door lock. And Gilly
Right.
kind of sits there and goes, I don't understand. How were they sleeping and still getting dressed?
Yes, that's a good question, Gilly. I was thinking something along those lines as well, but um, I didn't know people do strange things. Why bother trying to understand it?
Okay. Which way you going next?
Well, she suggested that up on the main deck, somewhere the captain would be,
Mm-hmm.
and also, who'd she say?
Sarah and Wilbert are the names that she mentioned, as
Sarah
Gretchen
and
is
Wilbur.
standing there just kind of on the upper deck,
Yes.
being like, have you found your friend yet?
No, he wasn't where you suggested he would be. Have you seen Sarah and Wilbert, or the captain?
Oh, the captain, no. He's been missing for a while now.
Oh,
I've been looking for him. But Wilbert tends to sleep in the bottom left boat, and Sarah is currently sitting in the upper boat right over here. She points, and you see a woman just chilling in this boat.
what? They just sleep in the lifeboats?
They're supposed to be on watch. But good
That's
night.
what the crow's nest is for.
They don't do it. As she goes to bed.
Princess Gilly, is this really the kind of ship that your family would put the royal princess on? Is this,
Sir Miles, I think you are aware that people lie, right?
yes, of course, but this is just beyond. This is just so bad at their jobs at this point. Like, how could they all be lying? Like, let's just go down below deck and see if we can find the captain.
Okay.